So today I'm going to bring you 10 reasons that you may want to reconsider moving to Oklahoma. We're just going to have a real conversation about some of this, some of the realities of life here in the state of Oklahoma. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, Stacy Hesser, your favorite realtor in all of Southern Oklahoma. And today we're going to talk about 10 reasons why you may want to reconsider moving to the state of Oklahoma. As my dog comes panting into the room. So the first thing that people ask me about for the most part is always going to be about the weather, whether it's about tornadoes or the weather fronts that come through. And I'm not going to, it's a thing. Obviously we have tornado sirens that are in our area. They test them out once a week to make sure you can still hear them. A lot of people have storm shelters here. But truly the greater concern to me living here has grown into the flash flooding. There's a lot of flood zones that are here in Oklahoma, which has really been a surprise to me because when those fronts come through, they are just dumping a huge amount of rain in a very short amount of time. So flooding is actually a far greater problem here than anything with tornadoes and such. There has been definitely hail that comes through also. So people end up having roofs replaced because of hail damage and such. But we've been very fortunate where we're at that tornadoes haven't really been a factor. But super big is flash flooding or just flood zones. The 100-year flood zones is kind of a misnomer and it's a little bit misleading. Because I've definitely, in the short amount of time that I've lived here, seen the exact same places flood in, a few years' time, and they're in a 100-year floodplain, or flood zone, anyway. Yeah, so just be aware of that, and if you're looking for property around here, be sure you ask about flood zones, especially if you see any kind of place where you might have some runoff, little, dips in the land, stuff like that. So, yeah, flood zones. Okay. Next up, so Oklahoma legalized weed here for the purpose of medicinal use. They didn't do a very good job regulating this up front. So now the state of Oklahoma is actually home to more dispensaries than like the top, the top 7 states that have it completely legalized. It's just turned into the Wild West around here in this state when it comes to dispensaries and grow operations. It's just been an incredible boom here, and the dispensaries are just everywhere. I kind of joke about it, but it's legit. When I say that you'll have a town of about 800 people, you will very likely have 2 dispensaries in that same town. They're just everywhere. So just be aware of that. If it's not your jam or if it makes you uncomfortable, this is a very open smoking state. Next up. So I feel a little fortunate when I moved here to Oklahoma that I did live in Florida prior. So I kind of got a little bit immune to the bugs and the insects from my time living in Florida because they have some very big bugs, but the bugs here still are no joke. I swear there's some places I've been where they just breed the ticks special and they're just everywhere. So just, doing tick checks after you've been out in the woods. If you've walked through any kind of hay fields or anything like that, you definitely need to be doing a tick check. Or spray down with mosquito dope. That actually keeps them at bay. Chiggers are a big problem here too, which you cannot even see. You just end up with something that looks like a rash and it's super annoying. They do have brown recluse spiders here and stuff like that, but scorpions, they actually have scorpions here too, termites. So yeah, but these are things that you're kind of dealing with in a lot of other places. But the ticks and the chiggers are probably the most annoying or disgusting. I don't know. Ticks I didn't have to deal with really in Florida, but I've definitely had my share of ticks here in Oklahoma. And again, luckily, once you just pick off 1 or 2, you're just like, whatever. I still hate them. It still kind of grosses me out, but it's just part of living here if you're into any kind of outdoor activity. So yeah. There you go. Wide open spaces. I'm not quite sure how to, how to really talk about this. There's not a lot of public land here, so when I talk about wide open spaces, I just mean that there's a lot of ranching and such. So if you're any kind of a hunter, you need to make sure that you have a land lease in order to go hunting. A land lease is just where a property owner is allowing you to lease the land to actually go out and hunt. Coming from Alaska, we had a lot of public lands, so you were able to go hunting there. And land leases were something that was totally foreign to me. Never even heard of them, didn't even know what they were. But if you're wanting to hunt on public lands, this is kind of a difficult place to do that, but you can certainly hunt here as long as you have somebody that will give you some kind of a land lease. And you can find them on, like, there's Facebook groups and stuff out there where you can pick up leases and such. So it's just, I guess that's not really a deterrent, it's just different. So yeah, anyway, spaces, wide open spaces, all owned, privately owned. Yeah. Oklahoma has snakes. I'm not a fan. They still gross me out. But I mean, again, they're kind of just a way of life. Growing up in Alaska, we didn't have them there, so it's been a little bit. I'm not even going to say that I'm like used to them or anything, but they actually have rattlesnakes here. I didn't realize that. They also have the cottonmouth, and there's another one that I think the black moccasin. But they're just creepy. I don't know. It's not something I would ever have as a pet. And just see, I don't know, the way they move. Anyway, snakes, they exist here. They're a thing. So yeah. Allergies. Yeah. This is pretty personal for me. But as you can tell right now, I'm still struggling with allergies here in the fall. The wind, because it's always blowing, it's just, for me personally, it's always just stirring something up. So yeah, you're going to be investing in some Allegra or some Zyrtec or Flonase, any of that stuff. But allergies are kind of, for me anyway, a big deal here. Obviously not enough to deter me from living here, and I love it here, but if I know I'm going to be outside for an entire day, I'm usually doubling down on my allergy medicines. Just, I'm not totally paying for it the next day. And even then I'll wake up with my puffy eyes and bloodshot, and anyways, yeah. So allergies are a pretty big thing here. Ragweed, that's like I said, that's I'm just allergic to a lot of earth. So I'm just going to have this problem pretty much wherever I go. But the ragweed is my number one, and they have quite a ragweed population here. So yeah, anyway. I'm in southern Oklahoma, and we have, I don't know what's in the dirt, but it's red dirt, and the red dirt stains. So if you're building a house and you haven't managed your pad real well, so you've got still a lot of red dirt, which I almost guarantee you're still going to have a lot of red dirt around. When the water drips off of the house, it will actually stain the house. It will stain your clothes. It's just, again, I don't know what superpower this dirt has, but it's red dirt, and it's real, and it's a stainer. It just stains things. So yeah. So Ardmore is located on I-35. So Interstate 35 is always under construction. The state of Oklahoma, since I've been here, has literally been going through and actually replacing a lot of the bridges that are in the state. I almost feel like they had a mandate of replacing every bridge in the state or doing repairs to every bridge in the state. But as a result, I have not been able to go from Ardmore to Oklahoma City or down to Dallas without encountering a construction zone at some point in my trip. It's just, there is always some piece of I-35 that's just going to be under construction. So again, this is probably something that a lot of you are already dealing with around where you are at, but it's just annoying. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but I appreciate the improvements, but I do not appreciate the traffic that just gets backlogged as a result. So yeah, wah, I know. So the last thing I have for you is there's a lot of things here, a lot of flora and fauna that will stab you. In Florida, there were sand spurs. In Alaska, we had what was called Devil's Club. Here in Oklahoma, they have like everything, everything. There's tumbleweeds, there's thistle, there's this kind of cactus that looks super innocent and it'll stab the living crap out of you. I mean, stuff draws blood here. I feel like the greenery here wants to just take you out or do you in. I don't know what it is. There are thorns and stabby things like everywhere. We have prickly pear. There's a cactus here that, I mean, there's some again that will just like totally, stab you and take your blood. There's others that will just blanket you in thorns, and then you pull away and then all the thorns are still with you and you're just carrying them with you for hours, days, weeks, whatever, especially if they get in your shoe. But there's a lot of stuff here that will just stab the crap out of you. But that's my list of things here in the state of Oklahoma that I find a bit unpleasant. Again, obviously not enough that I would not want to live here, but this is just the reality of living in this state. Like I said, some things are just different that I've not encountered before in other places, but other things are just, I don't know, part of the way of life. Be prepared to like donate blood to the earth here. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you love this video and want to see this happy, smiling little face every single week, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that this helps you out in making your decision and moving here. But if you have any further questions, please be sure to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. That's what I got for you today. Until the next time, bye.